So with our handsome Mr. B, our handsome guy, so we were just going to be warming up with some puppy goodies. So obviously I know for him, he is still working through a lot of great skills. His house training, he's actually doing quite well. He has been going out and going to the restroom very nicely out on the pea stone. And I've been able to kind of redirect him with either a little toy or some food if he does get a little distracted. But he's been doing a really nice job for his first day. He went and took a nice little nap. He ate most of his lunch, but not as much because I think there's a little bit more distractions here than at home. So, but if again you find he's a little hungrier, you can always give him a little bit more for dinner per se. So right here we're going to do Bodie. Yes. So we're just warming up a little bit with some lovely name recognition. So if, let's say, we allow him to get a little distracted with the environment, and then, oh, that's very pretty. So you're going to obviously capture all the good little things he does try to offer you. So if Mr. B gives you some beautiful eye contact or a nice little sitting position, feel free to rotate. So, but I want to see if I could work a little bit with that checking back in on me. So I might do Bodie. Yes. So his name recognition is coming along really nicely. So very good job, guys. So obviously when you're starting off with a wee little one, I would always recommend to work some of this lovely orientation back to you from the environment. There are a few crumbs, which is again, nice and distraction moment for the handsome guy. Yes. So with one of my favorite exercises, you could do this even in the home too when it's his turn to practice, is work him through sometimes being a little distracted by the noises, the sights and sounds of the bubble, and then work that ability to move back into your space. Yes. So I sometimes either will allow the puppy to get distracted and then bounce them back from that, or, excuse me, sorry about my seltzer. Yes, right there, beautiful. So, but allowing him to get distracted and bounce back, or send him away with a little find it. So I might go, Bodie, ready? Find it. He's like, lady, I didn't see that. So if he doesn't always notice, I'm going to go right to a sniffer and then do a little find it. So that way he sort of sees me throwing it. Then I might go again, Bodie. Yes, and feed for that gorgeous name recognition. Good job, sir. And he did eat the chicken mixed with his food pretty well too, which was great. So ready, find it. Nice. And then right here, Bodie. So if I lose him, nice. I either will sometimes go and help him, or for example, I might try the little kissy noise, see if he can bounce back from that little chirpy noise. And then two, let's say we were gonna work a little bit with some of this orientation to you with some movement, let's say a little bit of beginning stages of loose leash walking. He says, hold on, my foot was tickly. Is you'd wanna go ahead and use your food as a target, and then take a few steps and then feed. So kind of like I was working with some of the other boys earlier, is you're just, again, trying to get this association with a nice big bank account that has a lot of great deposits into this behavior. So orientation to you from the environment has great value. That staying near you is sometimes, again, really nice and important and has a great deposit into that, again, account. Nice. Ready? So right here, Bodie. Yeah. Good job, sir. He's doing beautiful. So good sitting again. What a smart boy. So if, let's say, we're going to warm up with some of those puppy push-ups, I know we do these sometimes in class as well. And don't worry, Mr. P says, worst day of my life, I can't wrestle the whole day. So we might going to throw a couple little tidbits. I know I've got a couple snacks stashed over here for the boys. Toss a few for the handsome guy. There we go. Mr. P's doing a great job following me everywhere. He's doing real nice. Mr. A says, I want to come back out and do more flirt pole play. So right here, we're going to, again, capture all these great little moments. So for puppy push-ups, what I'd recommend is, again, start off with your puppies. Typically, you're going to be using your luring to create behavior. Remember, with luring, you want to try to fade it out as soon as you can. So if, let's say in the beginning, we use the food to a sniffer, bring it up and above his little head, get that sitting position, we would want to start asking without the hand loaded with the food. So let's say, for example, for the stand, we're still using the food to lure him into a stand or an up, whichever you want to call it. You would use your food right now to help him figure it out. As he becomes more fluid, we would then start to go from the food being presented first to the food be given after the behavior is accomplished. So right here, he's a little distracted. Bodie, nice. He's like, hold on, lady, I can't run anymore. He'll just meander slowly, and that's okay. Right there, gorgeous. So let's say we're working a little bit with those downs. Ready? I'm going to see if I can get his attention. Typically, I like to lower the caboose first and then try to lower the front end. Yes, and then feed for that. For some of the puppies, they can also do a down from a standing position. So if that's a little bit more challenging for the handsome guy, we might get him into that stand. And then from here, you'll see that I'm also, don't worry, Mr. Handsome says, what about me for redirections? So let's see if we can get Mr. O. We'll do a little find it over in the corner for the handsome guy with some of his snacks as well. Got a couple little treat stations for the babes. So let's say for Mr. Handsome over here, we were working a little bit with a standing position into down. I like to lower the food and then back it into him, and then beautiful. And then wait for the little caboose to hit the ground too. But remember, you could also do what's called shaping, which is feeding for even downward facing dog. So if let's say his booty end was still up, but his front end, went downwards, you could still feed for that attempt. So we might go into a stand or an up and feed. Nice. So again, we rotate through them, but I'd make sure that for now, we're just making each one have a reinforcement. So I know not all the time am I blabbing. As he's getting more fluid, you would be able to say sit or down or up or stand right prior to the behavior happening. So ready? So right here, we might go into a little sit. Yes, and then feed. Good job. And then again, now my hand will be empty, but I'm going to get some snacks ready on the other hand. I'm going to go into my down, and then yes to feed. And then from here, we might go into our stand. Nice. And then feed for that. So as quickly as you can, you do want to fade out the lure. Otherwise, for example, there we go. You may end up always having the puppy get a little confused, thinking the food is the beginning of the sentence. So it's food presented, behavior happens, food is given. We want to go from later, once he gets to get this concept down, poor Mr. O says, we have to wrestle, is you would want to go from the food is presented after the behavior has been acquired. So you'd want to see if you get the sit and then feed for right as he does it. He's like, how about a down? Oh, he's so tired. They're all going to be pooped out today. They all did a very nice job. So we'll give Mr. B a little breather from this, and I want to try if we can do a little bit of play as well with him and then give him a little break from these puppy push-ups from this little session.